I'm Jonathan Ammons, Editor-in-Chief of The Dirty Spoon. Welcome to the Ingles table. As a food, travel, and culture writer, I meet people from all over the world to talk about not just what they eat, but why it matters. Not all of us can afford to travel the globe and taste the flavors of the world, but with a little creativity and ingredients from Ingles markets, we can bring those flavors into our own homes and even save a little money in the process. Today we're making Samak Quwarmah, a spicy fish curry from Yemen and Oman. For those of us on a budget, fish might seem a little out of our budget, but Samak Quwarmah is a great way to make a little fish go a long way, giving you a healthy and downright exotic dish for pennies. I'm going to start with ghee. Ghee is just a clarified butter from the Middle East. You can find this in Ingles in the international aisle, in the Middle East section. I do recommend using it because it has a distinct flavor, but if you can't afford it or just don't feel comfortable with it, a little butter will do just fine. Gonna get that in the pan. Then you're gonna add a little bit of garlic. A lot of people prefer using fresh garlic. I know I tend to, but I find that this jarred garlic lasts a lot longer in the fridge. Let that garlic start to brown and add in your chilies. If you don't like heat, don't add the chilies. Get those nice and stirred in there. Next, in with your tomatoes. Use canned tomatoes. You can find these at Ingles. The Laurelin brand is quite affordable. You'll want to keep that water in that can because that water is going to reduce and create a nice thick gravy. You're going to let these simmer a little bit, about 5 minutes. Go ahead and add a little bit of fresh grated ginger. A cinnamon stick. Just a piece of a cinnamon stick will do. You don't have to add the whole thing. And just the peel of a lemon. This is going to pull in all that zest. You're going to want to leave it whole so you can just pull the whole thing out later. But that'll get that oil in there for you. Go ahead and stir that in and mix it. We're going to add our Baharat spice seasoning. This is a spice blend that I made. The recipe is included in the link. It's a mix of pretty much just items you probably already have in your pantry. I tend to use the Badia brand of spices. Those are just a spice aisle over, found in the international section, and they're really affordable. So just a little bit of that in there, probably not the whole thing. You can make these spice blends ahead of time and put them in a spice shaker and just keep them on your shelf and mix them into any of your favorite dishes. Baharat seasoning can go on just about any kind of meat. It's blends of cloves, cinnamon, cumin, black pepper, coriander. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it blends really well and really flavors the dish up. All right, and we're gonna let that sit and simmer for a minute and we'll come right back. All right, so this has been cooking about 5 minutes and thickening up real nicely. That's about time to add the fish. Now, I like Ingles because they always have affordable fish in their freezer section. This recipe is primarily just for 1 or 2 people, and so we only had to use 1 or 2 fillets of fish. I thaw that out, and then we salt it, let it sit for a little while. Be sure and dry it off with a paper towel so that it absorbs all that water and doesn't dry out the fish once it's cooking in the pan. Go ahead and just add that to your simmer. And I want to bump the heat up a little bit more on that again. You're going to know when it's done because it's going to be nice and flaky. And you're going to be serving this on a bed of rice. The traditional way to cook that rice is with a pilaf style rice. Add a little bit of that rice with some fresh onions, and then our fish should be just about done. You'll see that it's getting nice and thick in there. That's how you know it's about done, is when it starts to form that gravy. And that's when you are ready to serve. And there it is. I'm sure you're gonna love it. Garnish it with a little fresh mint. Thanks so much for joining me here at the Ingles table. Make sure to explore the rest of the site for more great tips, tricks, and recipes. See you next time.